JaviationX MRT traffic. Cirrus 717 Alpha Foxtrot taking the active runway.
Alright, let's do walk around my SR22. This is a turbo G6 version. The first thing I'll tell you is I use my external ports quite a bit. Top one's a trickle charger. I have it connected. That's what's going right now. Bottom one is external power. Typically, I don't have this connected just to make sure they're not both on at the same time, but I just obviously wanted to demonstrate that. Move this off to the side. But you want to have your tender on because this is going to elongate the battery life by quite a bit. So this is a really critical one. I'm going to take that off for now. All right, first thing I'm going to do is check my oil. So big mistake people make, they'll let this latch hit. Eventually it'll start cracking the paint. So hold it down, pinch it so that comes back smoothly. No cracking of the paint. All right. Then I like to see 6 quarts in there. So I'm going to pull that guy out. Check that. Just make sure that it's got perfectly at 6. Gets below 6, I add a quart. If you do any more than that in a G6 turbo version, you're just going to spit out the oil. So I recommend sticking to that formula. This next thing we're going to do is sump our fuel, make sure there's no water in the mixture. So I'm going to get a good amount there. And you can see we're looking for any oxygen. There's 4 sumps, 2 on each wing and 1 underneath the engine side there. There's also a TKS mount. Don't confuse those because they look very similar. TKS is on this side right here, it's in the front. So we want to feel that, but once we see it looks good, nice and clear, we're going to pour that back in. I actually like this, it's MCP Aviation makes it. It's got a little pour for you, and it gets a pretty good amount of fuel. It's a nice product. All right, let's get in the plane here. This is how I start. I'm going to check my lights. All right. I'm going to go to bat 2, flaps down. And the reason this is important is it's going to cycle my avionics, making sure everything goes through. I want to make sure my diode light is not on. You can see there. Now I'm going to go to bat 1, and as my flaps go on, we should see that light illuminate, showing the separation between bat 1 and bat 2, and there you have it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check all my circuit breakers. I have my Checkmate checklist right here. It's Velcroed right there, so I'm going to grab it. I'm going to look at, do my static port here. Flip that. Make sure that turns. Make sure that my ELT light is armed to neutral. That's the little circle. And then I'm going through and checking all my fuses here. Making sure there's no fuses that are up and popped. All my fuses look good. Fire extinguishers latched in. I don't see any brake fluid down there. Sometimes I have my light, and I like to use this little Milwaukee light, and I'll just turn this guy on and just give it a flash so I can get really, really close in there and see everything. No fluid, beautiful. Here I'm gonna go nav, strobe, landing, ice, and pitot heat. I'm getting all those on. Now, first thing I want to do is come back out to my pitot tube and check it. Make sure that's warm, okay? I check my nav lights, it's red, that's hot, okay? We're going to leave this off, and then I'm going to come back and turn my pitot heat off right away because I don't want that thing frying. I'm going to check my ice light here. I'm going to check my landing light right here. I'm checking this strobe, and I'm also checking this nav light. It should be green. A lot of times I can just literally look and see it reflecting. And that's it for lights. Now we're going to walk back around and turn the lights off. Okay, once I get everything off in the cabin, I'll leave this door open, and then I'm going to basically do a circle all the way around the aircraft. I'm going to drop down, start with this wheel well, and work my way all the way back around to that back and to that front. So down on the wheel well, first thing I like to do is check. I'm looking for a gold or orange light in the middle. That's my inspection tube. That tells me that my brakes are good. I'm looking at my inflation here, making sure that I know about the level. If I have any doubt, I'm going to connect the tester and make sure that my PSI is right. And then while I'm down here, I'm just checking everything, make sure there's no leaks, make sure everything looks good. I don't see any oil. It's a quick glance all the way through here. I like to check the ground, No indication that there's any problem. And while I'm on this side, I can actually look at that gold one there and get that one as well. That tells me that those brakes are also good. These use the Behringer braking system. That's a really strong braking system. All right, next I'm gonna come through the outside again. I like to use my light. If it's daytime, no need. I'm looking for oil. I'm looking for anything unusual. Okay, while I'm down here, I remove my chocks, slide those out, check my ports, make sure everything looks good. Prop inspection is really important. You want to make sure there's no cracks in your propeller, because a crack in a propeller can lead to one of the blades breaking, which would cause massive vibration and essentially rip your engine right off the front. In this aircraft, we'd actually be okay because we could pull our CAPS parachute system and get down to safety. But in a lot of planes, you'd be in trouble. You'd have to shut that engine down right away. I'm looking for any loose wires, any fluids. This is really important. I want everything to be nice and dry. This is a relatively new airplane, only got about 300 hours on it. And even then, you should make sure there's absolutely no leaks whatsoever. No leakage, nothing like that. Checking the tread on that side. I'm checking my exhaust system. I want to make sure there's no cracks here, both the turbo and the exhaust, and I can see in. Everything looks great. Belly looks great. We've already sumped. I'm going to go ahead and look at my tire tread. That looks great. And I'm doing a quick illumination of the bottom of the wing. Again, looking for fluids, anything like that. I'm checking my leading edge. We're visually inspecting our fuel source. Make sure there's fuel. Okay, we can see we're at tabs there, so we've got plenty of fuel. These fuel gauges are pretty accurate, but you still want to visually inspect. Making sure, some people don't like to touch that. I like to just tap it, make sure that this is my stall indicator. It's going to tell me when I'm stalling. Got the split edge here. This is a weeping wing, which means that we're releasing TKS fluid out of here. So I want to make sure this is nice and clean. When you're wiping this, make sure you're not putting any wax on it. That's really important. Soap and water, they do have cleaners for that. And here I'm just going through my edge, making sure everything is good. I'm gonna go ahead and check my ailerons. I wanna make sure that if you look on the inside, you can see it turning. Here I'm looking for any nuts and bolts being loose. When you're doing a walkthrough or walk around on your aircraft, you want to be really thorough. I'm touching everything, making sure no bolt is loose. Typically, I'll have these flaps extended down, and I'll look through the same thing. I had put them up already, so I'm going to go ahead and do it like this, but you always want to have these down when you do the first one. Okay, everything looks good. All the linkage is good. All the cotter bolts are in. Again, I'm looking for fluid here. Anything I could see that might have built up, spilled, leaked, anything like that. Everything looks fantastic. Looking at my antennas up here. This is my static port. This has to be clear. We don't want any clogging there. All my antennas look good. Again, another weeping edge. This is really important. I need to make sure that these counterweights are in here. That's really critical. They have to be in on both sides and locked in, okay? Same with my tape here. I should have my tape that's sealed off, okay? Looking at my edge, linkage. Again, I'm checking all linkages. And as I'm checking this stuff, now I've done this by memory, I'm just taking a glance, making sure I'm going through and I've hit everything. Yep. Checking now we're on the big rudder. All the links look good. All the bolts are in place, the cotter pins are in place. Got good free movement. Can never be too safe when you get up in the sky. You can't just pull over, right? It's not like a car. Okay, and we see our counterweights are in place here as well. Okay. Let's make and model. Need our plaque, make sure that's in. All right, now we're on the left side of the aircraft. Our parachute system is here. So rocket shoots out, deploys the parachute, and that's how this comes down. In the case of some sort of emergency, we have to be 600 above ground, so 600 AGL. When you take off, don't do the math. If you're at 300 AGL on the ground, the number's 900. If you're at 500, the number's 1100. So you know the altitude you could pull caps. And when you roll through that altitude, when you fly through that altitude, you're gonna point up and just say caps. Static port number 2, make sure that's clear. If you have a cargo door, make sure that everything is in place and not sliding around. Okay, we have some extra oil there in case we need to add some oil. Again, we're coming down at the bottom here. I'm checking my linkages, my bolts. I'm touching everything, guys. You're gonna get your hands dirty. I'm touching everything. I wanna make sure that everything is nice and tight and clear. Now this plane just got angled a couple months ago, but that doesn't mean something can't happen while in flight. Pitot tube looks clear. We already checked the pitot tube when we checked the heat. Okay? And that basically brings me all the way around. I'm gonna do my last visual inspection of my fuel source here. I'm up to tabs, that looks good. And that matches with my indication on the inside. If I was flying into any kind of icing situation, I wanna make sure my TKS fluid is filled. This takes 4 gallons on each side, okay? And make sure you factor that in with your weight and balance in your moment. Okay, so that's the exterior. I like to take a step back. I typically do this when the plane gets pulled out of the hangar. In my initial walk around, I'm doing all that inside. All right, that's it for the initial walk around. Fly safe out there, and as always, rule number 1, attack.